Okay, okay. Corinna, can you hear us? Just a technical check.
Yes, I do. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yes. Obviously, that was not supposed to be a hybrid show, but we wanted to be all here. But yeah, corporate travel restrictions hit Corinna last week, so she's here online. Nice to see you. Say hi to us.
Hi.
Okay, perfect. Okay. So, yeah, my name is Thorsten. I'm Vice President of CoachHub, and we today want to talk about the organizational transformation of Signal Iduna. And yeah, let's just get right into it. So just to give a short introduction, who's CoachHub? So we are a digital coaching
Thorsten,
platform. Yes?
Thorsten, just one question from the technical point of view. So, do you have slides that everyone sees now? Because I don't see any slides.
Okay, that's going to be a bit tricky.
It's not a problem if I don't see them, but hopefully the audience sees them.
Yeah, yeah, so they can see them. Maybe you will see them as well in a couple of seconds.
Okay, now I do. Great, thanks.
Hybrid world. All right. No, we want to see that one. Where was I? Digital coaching platform, exactly. So we're a startup, so we are founded 2018, 3 years ago. We are right now over 500 people, and we have a coach pool, a certified coach pool of more than 3,000 coaches worldwide. That's basically our business model. And what we are doing, obviously, we are helping people with their coaching efforts, and you see a couple of clients here on the right-hand side, and obviously also the logo of Signal Iduna, where we're happy to, have a collaboration in regards of the organizational transformation of Signal Iduna, and that's what we actually want to talk about today to you. Just to give you a short intro, what we try to do with our coaching platform. So our mission is that we want to democratize coaching. So we want to give access to this powerful tool of personal development to each and every employee in a company. And that's what we strive to. We think that coaching can be a huge leverager for organizational change and transformation, and that's why companies work together with us. Initial to see what kind of key ingredients do we have, right? So on the one hand, I mentioned that we have a coach pool, very big around the world, so we can serve customers around the world. On the other hand, we have obviously a platform, a digital platform, where coach and coachee can meet up, have the coaching sessions, and leave data points, so we can actually track some of the data. We are GDPR compliant, so no worries, we just take data we are allowed to report on, but super helpful. We will see that later on, how it helped also Signal Iduna in the transformation. When we started our company, we first thought the problem that we want to solve is actually taking this transactional old problem that companies had in the past and digitize it with a platform. So just imagine you're in a company, and I think some of you will have coaches in their network because you want to provide coaches to, let's say, executives, people that might have a problem, right, that need to have a coach. And so it's a huge mess for HR departments to organize all that, find the right coach, have them all on the same level so that you see that they are all right certified. You need to have them in all the countries that you're operating in, right? You have to make contracts with all of those coaches. And we said, well, we can take that part, and the companies just have to come to CoachHub, and we can provide over the platform, we can provide a coach. And not only that, we have an artificial intelligence that also matches the coach with the coachee. So you would get actually the right coach for your coachees, right? That's super powerful. But we soon figured out that that's not the only thing that we can do for companies, because we saw that it's super valuable to use coaching in programs, in strategic programs within companies. So what we do today, we see ourselves as a strategic partner for organizational transformation, for programs in regards to diversity, equity, and inclusion, where you really need to change behavioral change. And you see all those things here when it comes to re-on offboarding, all those things that we have right now, or just think about re- and upskilling when it comes to the automotive industry right now, right? So there are people in their 50s, they worked in the engine production for decades, and now all of a sudden this is all unimportant. So we think we should provide them with a coach how to reflect themselves in the new career, because they will have a career for the next 10 to 15 years, right? So this is what we do. And today we want to talk about this part here. So it's about transformation. It could be any kind of transformation, because when it comes to transformation, it obviously comes to the point where people need to change. And when it comes to change, coaching is a super powerful tool to support this change. And we have a lot of transformations that we're supporting. Sales transformation, going from buying stuff to SaaS models, right? We have changes in regards of automation. We have obviously organization transformation, right? So when it comes to how do we want to operate our organization in the future. And this is where we came together with Signal, and I will hand over to you now, Corinna, because I think you will tell us a bit of how this program was with the both of us.
Great, thank you so much. Well, hello from my side as well. My name is Corinna. I'm part of the Signals ecosystem, and thereby Signal Iduna's digital transformation for 3.5 years now. And yes, I'd love to be there with you on stage together, but unfortunately I can't. So I'm happy to be online with you for the next 15 to 20 minutes and dive a little deeper on our transformation journey, what we did so far, where we stand at right now, what's next, and how coaching helped us along the way. So I'd say we start with a very short introduction of Signal Iduna and Signals, just so that everyone's on the same page and has the key information before I dive deeper. Signal Iduna is one of Germany's largest insurance companies. We were founded from the trade and commerce sector, the craftsman sector, and we now have more than 12 million customers. We sell products from a wide range of product portfolio. So the largest area is our private health insurance, but we also offer, for example, car insurance, travel insurance, liability insurance. So it's a wide product range. We have more than 10,000 employees, and we generated premium incomes of more than 6 billion euros the last years. So during the whole digital transformation, Signal Iduna founded Signals as their innovation ecosystem. And with Signals, we say we are the ones that bring in a breath of fresh air and the perspective from the market into the group. So how do we do that? We have 3 initiatives for that. On the one hand, we have our Signals Open Studios, and that's not just only the space where we actually work at, but it's also like a co-working space where we meet stakeholders from the whole startup and VC ecosystem. And Signals Open Studios actually were the first spatial foray in 2017 for Signal Iduna. So when I started in 2018, colleagues from Dortmund and Hamburg would come and say, hey, we want to work from Berlin. By now, we do have very nice spatial areas in Dortmund and Hamburg as well. So now it's not that they're running into a location like that anymore. But so even with the space, it's kind of like showing what the future of work could look like. We have our second initiative, that's our venture capital fund, which invests in startups in the seed and Series A round. So that's usually between 1 to 5 million initially. And it's financially oriented fund, but as our fund invests in B2B enterprise solutions, many of those portfolio companies are exciting for us as Signal Iduna, as we're an enterprise customer. So to give you like kind of a range, more than 50% of our investment portfolio now work together with Signal Iduna. And then last but not least, we have built up a venture client unit. That's a Signal startup client. And that's actually the topic where I've been working on for the last 2.5 years with some other colleagues. And that's actually how we bring in the innovation from the market, both from, on the one side, our portfolio companies, but all, of course, also from other startup companies into Signal Iduna group. And CoachHub is actually a very nice example because we invested in the company with our VC fund, and CoachHub, now called Sunicorn, is of course a great from our investment perspective, but it's also very, very nice because we managed to use CoachHub at Signal Iduna, so that makes it even more valuable to us. So that should be it from a short intro, and then let's take the next couple of minutes to dive a little deeper on our transformation to show the importance of coaching in that. So like we've heard from many speakers during the last 2 days, the market conditions are pressing traditional industries to change, and the insurance industry is no exception. So we've seen many new competitors entering the market using technology to disrupt familiar processes. So if we look at Lemonade, for example, an insurtech from the US, so they have managed to automate their processes using AI in such a way that they can that the insurance processes can be concluded in just a matter of minutes, and even the claim processes, they say sometimes only last a couple of seconds. For those not familiar to the whole insurance industry or world, this is not the state of the art for large established insurance companies. And well, it's not only these new competitors in the insurance industry, but also players from other industries, let's take Uber or Netflix or Gorillas, that influence the customers tremendously. So customers are now used to great user experiences. Everything has to be fast and digital and easy, and complicated and time-consuming processes are a no-go nowadays. So to fulfill these customer needs, we of course need talent. We need some more talent than we have right now, and some other talent. And now we have to convince the talent out on the market in that war for talent that they're going to start an insurance company in Dortmund and Hamburg instead of Google or Apple or Amazon. So that's also a changing market condition that we have to react to. So what's our answer to these changing market conditions? So we have come up with 4 fields of actions in our strategy, and our strategy is called Vision 2023 right now. And these 4 fields of actions demonstrate that we want to focus on the one side, on a great service, that's what we call more benefit, on innovative new products, that's what we call more new, on our target groups. Like I said, Iduna was founded from the craftsmen's and the training sections, and we have defined 10 target groups, and we want to grow in those target groups. And of course, we want to achieve all that together with our employees and empower them to take responsibility. And to translate those fields of actions into numbers, what does that mean? So we want to grow our premium income up to 7 billion euros, our accounting surplus up to 760 million. We want to, like I just said, grow in our target groups. So we want to make new business, or 50% of new business share from those target groups. And we want to offer such great services to our customers that we achieve to be in the top 5 insurance companies if you look at the Net Promoter Score. Yes. So that's actually what our plans are like. And now let's dive a little deeper on how we try to achieve those and what we've done so far already. So it all kind of started with a leadership journey of our executive board members to Berlin back in 2016. And on that trip, they got input from the market, saw what's happening in other industries, and they decided where are the areas where they just need to react, and where are the areas where they really want to actively move forward and set a great example. So after that trip or journey, they started and said, hey, in addition to our regular operations, we also need the opportunity to deal with new things, to create new products interactively. So what we did back in 2018, we started 3, we called them journeys back then, which were interdisciplinary teams that worked on topics according to agile principles. And they very successfully created some new products and also worked on some process improvement, which is why we added more and more journeys along the way from different areas until we finally had 12 journeys back in 2019. And at that point, we reached a limit, which I will just come back and talk a bit more about in a moment. And that was a point when we decided that we needed a bigger step, a more incisive step. And it was like, okay, go big or go home. And that was why we, at the beginning of the year, we started over 100 journeys. We now call them squats. And they started working on topics in well, a whole agile way to achieve our vision. And maybe let's just look at some of the problems I just mentioned we had back then when we tried to steadily increase. So it was great to just start with 3 journeys and step by step take a journey more, because it was like a build, measure, learn experience for us. We started small, but at that certain point in time, 2019, we just had some challenges to align those 2 worlds we were building. So one world where employees could work in nice offices and co-working spaces and use new working methods, and on the other side, like the old world. And also our organizational setup was not really made to combine those 2 worlds. So we, for example, had the thing that employees who once worked in a journey didn't want to go and work in the old world again after experiencing the new world once. And also looking at the processes, the regular processes with budgeting once a year, and that didn't really align with the new agile way of budgeting a couple times per year, for example. And that just had to be aligned. So that was when we decided it's time for big moves, it's time to dare something and extend our agile transformation on the entire group. So what we're doing since then is we try to replace or replaced our silos, our divisions, and made our working more consistent in terms of what are the concerns of our customers, and align it more to our customers' needs. So it's looking at what stages a customer goes through, and not just, okay, is it a healthcare patient, or does he have a liability insurance? It's rather looking at the processes and the steps, getting aware, becoming a client, experiences, services that we're looking at now. And looking at how we do that, our approach of Agile at Iduna is a business intersection of 4 quadrants. I'll just start on the right corner with the delivery units. So the delivery units focus on growth and change. They work in a fully agile way, and they do that already, because the 100 squats I was talking about earlier are coming from the delivery units. And they're the ones who actually develop solutions. They're the ones who work on new products. They're close to the customer, and they're measured against clear KPIs. And that's something new compared to the old organization. Then on the also upper part, but on the left side, are the centers of excellence. So the centers of excellence are the home to our specialist knowledge. So they are the ones with the tasks in the context of the group as a whole. So they sometimes spare with the delivery units and help them out with their knowledge when it's needed. And examples for centers of excellence are, for example, legal and compliance or auditing. So not in every delivery unit or squad is someone from the legal team, but rather it's the delivery units and the squads just go to the centers of excellence whenever they need some help from the legal team, for example. A little less complex is on the left side, the operation teams. And the operation teams focus on efficiency. So that's, for example, our service billing. It's clearly defined processes that help us to complete things quickly and clearly. And on the right side, on the lower part is the customer loyalty teams. That's actually the teams we're gonna do the agile transformation next with, and they sit at the intersection with the customer. They're responsible for the perfect customer experience. And for us, an example for that team would be we have we formed specific target group agencies. So looking at our salespeople, we have specific sales teams just focusing on our target groups. Yes, and like I just said, so we started with the delivery units this year in 2021, and we're gonna extend in 2023, 2022, and then we want to agilize other areas step by step as far as possible and as it makes sense. So now, if we look at Agile at Signal Iduna, it redefines really the whole interaction between the different parts that we have as an organization. And like I said, we no longer want to work in silos, but really focus on our customer. And to give you just a hint on how it's going, I just brought 3 examples of successes among our fields of actions. So let's start with an example from the service point of view. So we continue to really work on our customer app, and we actually achieved to be the first insurance app offering the health services and the insurance services one app in the German market. And that agile setup really helped us in doing so by really working at parts of the app in different teams, but bringing it really together, because teams are more KPI driven and there are more meetings, for example, like a demo day where people can come together and show what they worked on. And we're really rewarded by our customers as they really have a high level of customer satisfaction, 4.6 for our customer app. For the more focus, what we call to grow in our target groups, we build specific target group websites, and that are the ones on the right side, the Wir sind Bäcker and Handwerk der Zukunft and Anfassbar Gut. And Anfassbar Gut, for example, is an example of such a platform where we work together with the HDI, the trade association in Germany, and we offer specific products for the trading industry, both from the insurance perspective, but also from what else is there that this specific target group needs, and how we want to really make an impact on that group. And one more, in terms of innovative new products, I just brought an example from the mobility sector. So here again, it's a very nice example of how synergies come together from our different areas. So Signals Venture Capital invested in Zurich back in 2019, which was bought by the e-scooter firm Bird. And through our investment, we actually moved into the whole micromobility market. And we've developed back then the first usage-based tariffs. And now we're the market leader in that micromobility space, offering this usage-based tariffs to many fleets you can see on the right side. So maybe to sum it up from my side, I've shown you like our approach to the whole agile transformation and some of the successes we're proud of right now. But of course, we only achieved this because there were so many employees who gave it all and did their best working in and on this transformation. And that's actually despite the fact that it's not just a small change. It was a huge change. It was a huge step. It was huge changes for those employees, and especially an even bigger step if you look at the average length of service of more than 20 years that an employee works at Signal Iduna. So that's usually not the employee who's actually willing to have a change every year if you work at a company for 20 years. So it was and it still is a feat to take all these employees along with us on this journey. And to actually do so, we've implemented different initiatives. And one of the most important ones definitely was and still is for us coaching of our employees. And Thorsten, by saying so, I'll hand it over to you again.
Thank you, Corinna. Yeah, just to give you for the last 3 minutes just an idea of what happened there. So Signal moved from a classical hierarchy model to the Spotify model. So just imagine that people that have been managers for 10, 15 years from now are just product owners or are a tribe lead or a chapter lead. So total new roles, new responsibilities, maybe less power than before in the organization, maybe even more power out of the sudden. And you can see all those areas of uncertainty are perfectly things to use coaching to help people coping one-to-one with a certified business coach about those areas of uncertainty, those individual problems. And just to give you a glimpse how it works, right? So when we start a journey with clients, it's quite easy to set up. You just send out a link to your employees that you want to be coached. They go through the CoachHub journey, so they find their perfect business coach. They can schedule right away their first session, so maybe they have the first session the day after. We guide them through a strengths assessment, so we want to see what are the strengths and development areas of the coaches in that area, so if they have never done coaching, that they have an idea of what can I talk about, what can we do together with my coach, right? And then it's a live coaching, so it's not only an app. We just show the app because it's fancy, right? It's mostly it's done on the PC, right? As we do the Zoom sessions, and then we have obviously some learning nuggets, so the coach can give the coachee some learning nuggets he or she can use to work on the personal development goals, right? And after each and every session, we asked for feedback from the coaches. So, what do you think? How did you improve in the areas and the goals that you set yourself? And for the people in HR, in the transformation department, they have right away a great picture of the organization. Just imagine you have 500 people in a transformation, or 1,000 as Signal Iduna, and they have all run through the strengths assessment, right? So a week after you start the program, you have a perfect picture of what are the strengths of your employees that are right now in the coaching, what are the development areas, and obviously you would see what are the areas they are working on and how do they improve. And you can even drill it down to certain of those coachable topics, right? So those are customized ones. We have our own a framework that are a bit different. But you could see of the time frame how they developed from themselves. And just to give you the last insight, what Signal has, just live data from last week out of the system. So this is something we ask really after every session. So if the coachee is not clicking just the computer out, it's just to answer, do my coach and I respect each other? Are we agreeing on what's important for our work? And do I feel that the coaching helps me accomplishing my goals? And you see we have a 4.8 rating on a 5 scale, which is for HR product significant, right? And just to give you a glimpse of what the HR department can see right now, right? So those are the 5 top topics they have in the current cohort, right? So you see mindfulness and time management are obviously some triggering points, and that's not only giving you an example of what they are working on, but just imagine that you can now direct any other HR development tools to those topics, right? You can say, okay, let's have training, let's have a workshop, let's have a group reflection on what does it mean to be mindful, what can we provide our employees on top of that. And this is everything we can provide with CoachHub, and that's how we shape the way Signal and is going into the future, and we hope that we have some questions and answers. I think I'm out of time, so we do it later on the roundtable, and maybe you want to connect with us because Corinna is not here. Just give us a hint on LinkedIn and we are happy to talk to you. Thank you very much.